Okay, so a very kind of common problem with hikers is that they can't work out where they are on the landscape, and therefore they can't work out where they are on a map. Now, in order to do that, it's actually very simple, and you just use a bit of basic kind of logic and you work it out. So watch here how I do it. In order to find where we are, first of all, fold the map into the area that you think you are in. You always know plus minus where you are, but not exactly. So the map is now folded, and I'm just going to orientate the map using the compass, and we're working on a magnetic declination of 26 degrees west, and I turn it to 334, and my map is now orientated. So the map is now, it's true with the way the Earth is standing. How you find your way now is that you have to look for some large geographical feature on the landscape that is quite close to where you are. And if I look off to the south there, I can see a large flat top mountain, and off on the one side there's a smaller hill slightly in front of it with a slight ridge on it. And then I estimate how far is that large kind of feature, and I'm thinking it's about 3.5 to 4 kilometers away from me, which equates to about 8 centimeters on a 1:50,000 map, which is what I'm using today. So now with my map, I know that I'm somewhere in this area of it. And there I can see a large flat top mountain with a smaller hill in front of it. And I'm saying that I'm about 3.5 to 4 kilometers on this side or north of it. So when I measure with my side of my compass, I can say that I'm somewhere in this region, which is equates to about 4 kilometers from that feature. I'm saying that we are about 4 kilometers away from the large geographical feature, which is called Swartkop Mountain, and we're in fact near a river with a small dam, and I've seen that there's a dam near me with that shape to it. Then I can see that there's a road, and I'm on the road near the dam. And then very lastly, I can see that there are some non-perennial streams, and that I'm in fact midway between the two non-perennial streams, and therefore I must be exactly there. So I know that I'm on a road here, and that just over there's a small dam with a dam wall, and off to my left there's a small non-perennial stream which ends about 1.5 k's away from me, and then there is a second non-perennial stream, and that I'm on the road in between the two non-perennial streams, and that's exactly where I am. So in order to orientate a map using a magnetic compass, there are a few things you need to understand first, and that is about what is magnetic declination and how it affects us here in South Africa. So when one uses a magnetic compass like this, the little red needle is going to be pointing to magnetic north, and magnetic north is situated in Upper Hudson Bay area over there, and understanding that this compass needle, this red needle, is in actual fact pointing towards the Upper Hudson Bay area, and it's pointing kind of through the earth, not over the surface of the earth. So the magnetic declination varies from place to place. And I'm using this map here today called 2930CB, and at present the magnetic declination in this area is about 26 degrees west of true north. And there you can see there's an angle. There is true north, and there's the magnetic declination, and at present in this area it's about 26 degrees. I say about 26 degrees. Now on all topo maps, they will have a way of working out what the magnetic declination is for this map. not have to be too accurate. If you're working on 26 degrees, but it's actually 26.2, don't worry about that. From a hiking point of view, you're hiking over very short kind of distances, and that 0.2 of a degree is not going to make any difference to your navigation. One must always remember that in South Africa, at present in history, the magnetic declination is always to the left, or it is west of true north. The number of degrees might vary, and it is in fact getting larger most years, but at present, at this place that I'm working at today, it's at 26 degrees west of true north. So in order to take into account the magnetic declination of 26 degrees west of true north, you take 360 degrees in a circle, and you subtract the 26 degrees, which gives you 334 degrees. And that is where the red magnetic needle must be pointing to. In order now to orientate my map, first of all, you must zero your compass, so you get the N, or the 360, all in line with the direction of travel arrow. You place it on your map and zero it all. Everything is parallel. The magnetic needle is pointing to the north on the map, and then this map, you could say, is orientated to magnetic north. And in other words, it's pointing like this little, if that represents a map, it's pointing up here to the upper Hudson Bay area. Then, as I said, you must subtract 26 degrees from 360, you get 334 degrees, and you simply move the map and the compass until the red needle is pointing at 334, and what I'm effectively doing is I'm turning that map, and it is now orientated correctly to true north. On this map of the northern Drakensberg, they've got the magnetic declination at the center of the sheet at 23 degrees 47 minutes west in February 2022, and because the magnetic declination is getting wider every year, you could probably work on this map at 24 degrees west of true north. In order to take a compass bearing, what you must realize is that all the modern day compasses nowadays have a protractor on them. And if you did this in the old method, you'd have a protractor like this. And I've decided that I'm over here on the map, and I want to get to the top of that mountain to take my bearing to it. I would place the center of the protractor on the place where I am. 360, or north, is facing on north on the map, and then I would simply read the degrees all the way around here until I got to 228, and that is the bearing, the true bearing from where I am to the top of that mountain, 228 degrees. In order to take a compass bearing using what I would term the normal method, and I'm going to take it from where I am to some buildings about 2 kilometers away from me, which is in fact a nursery. And using this method, it must be remembered that you do not have to have the map orientated first. You can have the map any way you like, and then the magnetic declination is accounted for later. So to use the normal method of taking a compass bearing, we have decided we are situated at that point, and there's the nursery, those buildings there, about 2 kilometers away, and I want to walk to them. I take the side of the compass and I put the side where I am to midway through what I want to target onto there. Then I take the protractor and I turn it so that the lines, the orienteering lines and the north is parallel with the sides of the map and is pointing towards north. And then I read off the number of degrees from north that it is, and it is 200, sitting at 220 degrees, which is the true bearing from where I am to that nursery. The number of degrees from where we are to where we want to go is 220 degrees, which is the true bearing. I then simply add on the 26 degrees, and you can remember this little rhyme: from the grid to the magnetic, which is the compass, from grid to mag, you add. So you add on 26 degrees, and that brings us to 246, and there's 246. And then I can put the map away and simply turn around holding the compass, and when the red needle is over the red orienteering arrow, like that, I can look up and there's the nursery in front of me. When you're out hiking, one of the very, very kind of common things that cause people trouble when they're trying to find their way is that hikers tend to look at the map and they look at man-made objects to orientate themselves with. And that's not the way to do things. What you should really be doing is orientating yourself with the geographical features of a map. Why? It's because man-made objects such as roads, houses, etc., they come and they go. They get removed or they get added in after the map was made, and things like path junctions. Paths are things made by humans, and if you are trying to find a particular path junction, you must bear in mind that in actual fact there might be two paths. There might be two path junctions now. So what you must do is, when you get to, for instance, a path junction, don't regard it simply as a path junction, but look at the geographical features around you and see that it fits, that this junction is correct with where you are standing. As an explanation of why you don't follow man-made features on a map, if we look at this road running down this hill here, past me, there is a junction there and there's a dam over there. But in actual fact, on the map, that fairly major road is not shown at all. And if you were trying to find your way, you would get very kind of muddled if you're trying to follow the road. But what you should be doing is having a look at the geographical features around it. So we are on this road here. There's the dam that I speak about, but in actual fact there's no road shown running in that direction across the dam wall. And one more example of why you don't trust man-made features is that if I was going up this road, which is the road over there, and I wanted to find the junction, the second junction of where I wanted to turn left, I could see on the map here that there are in fact two small houses at the first junction, road junction there. Now, when I look up, which is up near where the dead tree is there is in fact no houses. They were removed here about 30 years ago. What I should in fact be saying is that if I want to find that junction, I would look on the map and say, well, it's about 200 meters or 4 millimeters to the left of the small stream there and above the dam, and that the road is going up a hill because it's climbing one contour, which is 20 meters on this map, and that the junction is also slightly to the right by about 150 meters from this non-perennial stream. There are the two huts illustrated, which no longer exist, but you can look and we're about 4 millimeters, which equates to 200 meters above the river there. So when you are out there hiking, try to remember this, that the natural features of the way that you find your way around. And the three rules here is that contour lines don't lie. So in other words, if the mountain is a flat-topped round mountain, and we can see one out there, which is called Swartkop Mountain, on your map it's going to be true. It's going to be a large round mountain with a flat top on it. The other kind of feature that you can use are streams, etc. When map makers draw the streams in, they tend to get these things right. And if it's got an S bend in the stream, you'll find an S bend on the map. the other thing is are lakes or dams. Now I know a dam is not a natural feature, but map makers tend to get dams correctly placed on the maps with the wall in the correct place, and the size and the shape of the dam is correct, and it's also an easy way to find where you are. Now, in order to find where you are using a stream, if we look up this valley here, up towards the buildings, it's a small non-perennial stream, so in other words, non-perennial, it doesn't flow all year round. And when we look on the map, we'll see this feature correctly portrayed, running up and ending up near where the new houses are. So there's this non-perennial stream, and it takes a bend to the right over there and ends over there. And that's exactly what you'll find on the ground when we look up at it. So there is another way of taking a compass bearing, often referred to as the 1-2-3 system. It's useful, but it's quite a crude way of doing things, and it's not as accurate as the normal way. The other thing is that if you're going to use the 1-2-3 system as opposed to the normal system, you must realize that they are completely independent of each other. And if you're learning to work with the map and compass, learn one or the other. The problem is that if you learn both at the same time, you get the two methods kind of muddled up, and then you're in for a lot of trouble because you can never separate them in your mind properly. The 1-2-3 system, what you do is you take your compass, you place it on the side of your map, and you first of all, you must orientate the map correctly. And I'm bringing it all the way around to 330 degrees, 334 degrees, all the way around, and it's now pointing at 334. I'll get the compass perfectly there, parallel with the side of the map. And then, like in the other method that I used, the normal method, I'm going to go from where that little black dot is where I'm situated, and I'm going to go to those buildings, which is the nursery. So one is orientate the map correctly with the earth. You've taken into account magnetic declination. I'll put the side of the compass from where I am to where I want to go, and I'm going to point the compass directly into the middle of the buildings there, and then turning the compass protractor all the way until the red needle is over the red orienteering arrow. And then if I keep that, doesn't matter what I do now, but as long as I put the compass back, this direction of travel arrow is going to point at the nursery, and that's what I see ahead of me. When you're buying a protractor compass or magnetic compass like these, you must remember that the red arrow is going to point from wherever you are on the earth, whether we be here in South Africa or somewhere else, to the upper Hudson Bay area, and that it is pointing basically through the earth to the upper Hudson Bay area. And now, depending on where you are on the earth, the compass needle is going to try to point through it, and various regions of the earth will pull the compass needle in different directions. Now, this Sunto compass, when I purchased it, it had a little card on the back, and it showed what areas of the earth you can use it in. And the kind of difference is that the magnetic compass needle is balanced to be used in a certain area of the earth, and the needle here is running parallel in the compass housing. Whereas opposed to this one is not has not been made for the conditions that we have here, and this needle is in actual fact slanted like that, and will give you slightly inaccurate readings because the compass needle is running at not parallel with the earth.